Hey folks, okay. I'm going to give you a little rundown on how to read the awards entries that you're going to be judging next week. I really think it's a good idea for you to browse these ahead of time. So, Melanie sent you a URL that goes to this page. It's the USA Today Network Journalism Awards page. And if you scroll down, you see medallions here for each of our categories. Don't worry about the design ones down here. We're just concerned with the 8 at the top. That's what you folks are coming in to judge. So I'm going to open up the Public Service Watchdog category by double clicking on that. And what I'll see here is about a dozen entries. So any one of our categories is going to have about a dozen entries. And what you'll see is there are 5 or 6 for Division 1, 4 or 5 for Division 2, and 3 or 4 for Division 3. So in order to be considered for these awards, you had to win one of our quarterly awards or be a wild card, someone whose the importance of the work became evident after the quarter was over, or it was work that bridged more than one quarter. So here's how you take a look at these. I'm going to go and take a look at, let's see, I want to look at St. Cloud, Minnesota. It's a Division 2 entry. So I'm going to click, I'm going to check the box and go and edit. And what you'll see here is everything that the entering site put in. So it tells, for example, a brief description right here of what the work is. It's 1 or 2 sentences. And then it talks about how the work contributed to the community's greater good, so the impact there. Once again, they're very brief, what folks wrote about their entries. What's important is for you to go ahead and read them. So here you go. And each of these URLs corresponds to the overall project. You can read their story, you can read the editorial, you can read a column from the editor, some of the follow-up stories that are in there. So what I would recommend is you browse through these before you come. You don't have to make any decisions until next week when you're with your partner. You can also see a few other things. They put some additional items here. Here's an attachment. And what this attachment does is it just basically points out even more impact from the story that happened later on after the quarter was over. This is supplemental information, so eyeballing it is probably good enough in order for you to get a sense of what's going on. And when you're done reading that, you can either hit save or cancel. The reason that you have the choices between save and cancel is when you're here next week in Washington, you're going to do a little write-up about the ones that you think are the winners, and that's why you would want to save, because there's actually a little place for you to do some writing. But I'm going to cancel out of this now, and it takes me back to the list of Public Service and Watchdog. Let's just do one more just for the heck of it. Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to check that and edit. And something that I want to show you here is there are mentions here of something that may sound unfamiliar to you called Picasso. How do the Picasso pillars factor into this work? And Picasso is basically a program that we use in the USA Today Network to steer our journalism so that it has the maximum amount of impact, that it's really focused on the needs of readers the most, and that it reaches the most readers. So you're going to see people talking about how they marketed this journalism and how they partnered with organizations outside, out in the community to make sure that the work got to the people who could benefit from it the most. That's not really what our contest is about. It's more supplemental information. The contest is about the journalism itself, but just so you know, that's what they're talking about when they say Picasso. And then the last thing that I want to show you is, let's just see if they added any Shum notes here. Yeah, optional. Provide the dates and page numbers of the printed work. So this is if you wanted to, for example, see what this looked like in print, which probably isn't that useful to you, but it's more for our design judges. But if photo judges, for example, wanted to see what it looked like in print, here are the dates and the page numbers, and we'll provide you, when you get here, links so you can see PDFs of what those pages looked like. I'm going to hit close and go back to the list, and there you go. So if you can go through this dozen or 15 entries and just read up on the stories ahead of time. Take a look at the pictures, watch the videos, whatever your category is. You'll be in a position then to discuss and debate with your partner rather than having to do your homework sort of in class. So thanks for taking a look at this, and we will see you next week.